Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America, 8:30 a.m. in New York City. Want to take you live now to Times Square in the state of New York last night. The state, surprisingly, the center of the political universe yesterday with a governor's race that was never supposed to be close.
Yeah, joining us now is New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, and welcoming back is former New York Congresswoman Nan Hayworth in studio. Congratulations to you, Congresswoman. Your re-election in New York's 21st district. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling great. We had a historic win, winning by a larger margin than last cycle, and I'm so humbled for the overwhelming support of families in my district. And I'll tell you, it's a new district because of redistricting, so I have new families who I worked hard to earn their support. But we have a lot of work ahead of us in this next Congress, and I am focused on delivering results to my constituents.
Yeah, the 21st Congressional District, a new one. You got 59% of the vote, just an unbelievable majority in a state that has several blue districts. What do you make of the results of the Kathy Hochul Lee Zeldin race? Lee Zeldin made this a lot closer than many political experts would have predicted.
Yes, no one saw this race on the radar even a month ago, and it was only in the final weeks that the mainstream media admitted that Lee Zeldin was giving a very, very strong challenge against Kathy Hochul. And Lee Zeldin correctly prosecuted the case against the crime crisis in New York State. You know, ultimately, New York State Democrats outnumber Republicans significantly, and we came close. I am friends with Lee Zeldin. I strongly supported him, strongly campaigned with him. I know he's going to have a bright future in New York and in the United States of America.
Nan, a lot of people were expecting this red wave of Republicans most likely to take the House. We don't know about the Senate, but just even in New York, we have George Santos, who won in the 3rd District, and Mike Lawler. So, Nan, does this say something? Because New York typically being a blue state, is this a wake-up call for Democrats as far as the things that they're running on?
Well, it does. And I think, as Congresswoman Stefanik just reminded us, the crime issue in New York, the 2019 bail reform law, was a catalyst for what effectively is, in a small way, a bit of a red shift in New York. And we've seen at least a couple of state Senate seats change. We have had state Senate holds for Republicans, no longer a veto-proof majority, a commanding majority in the New York State Senate. And it is because of that crime law. And I think that, what Lee Zeldin did was to bring it to the fore. New Yorkers were sufficiently frustrated that they acted on that issue. And I'm going to be eager to see what happens in the state of Illinois in the next cycle, because they are about to pass. They are about to implement a law that's very much like the New York law, and I think we may see that affect Illinois in the 2024 cycle.
Yeah, Letitia James, by the way, winning her race, surprising many. The Attorney General in New York, she's gone after the former President Donald Trump with lawsuits that some say are frivolous. Congresswoman, I just want to talk about where the party goes from here. Is there a shakeup in leadership? Is Kevin McCarthy the next Speaker of the House? Byron Donalds is challenging you in leadership. What happens next?
Well, I strongly support Kevin McCarthy for Speaker, and I'm running for re-election as House Republican Conference Chair. We successfully unified Republicans, and we're going to win back the House and fire Nancy Pelosi once and for all. My two top priorities when it comes to political and delivering this House flip to fire Nancy Pelosi and save America, we swept in these New York races. We could win the majority in New York alone. We picked up 4 seats and held all of our Republicans. And this is a state like New York. No one in the mainstream media saw that coming. We won 2 in the Hudson Valley. We picked up 2 on Long Island. In addition, the number of Republican women that I've worked to recruit and invest in, that is going to be how we build our historic majority. And I have overwhelming support from my colleagues, which is, who I work with as the House Republican Conference Chair. And I'm honored to have the support of President Trump as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just final question for you. The numbers, we're still getting numbers into the newsroom every hour here. How does it play out in the House? What is the majority? Somewhere in the 220s for the Republicans?
Well, I think it's important to note, I believe we will have a bigger majority than Nancy Pelosi. And let's look back at our nation's history. There's only 3 times in modern history that House Republicans have won back the House. So this is a historic win. We promised the American people we would flip the House and fire Nancy Pelosi, and we are going to do just that. As I said, we will build that majority just out of New York State alone. And you have seats that have yet to be called that I think are going to fall our way, like in Connecticut, a state that has not had a Republican member of Congress, certainly in the last last decade. Florida, we picked up 4 seats as well. Texas, we picked up seats. We picked up seats on the southern border in South Texas. In Oregon, we're going to pick up a seat. So there is bright news here. Miami-Dade flipping to Republican. There are bright spots, and it's important to highlight those, but we will have a larger majority than Nancy Pelosi's.
Yeah, Congresswoman, in Miami-Dade, Hillary Clinton won by almost 20 points in 2016. Gives you an idea how blue that district really is. Elise Stefanik, congratulations to you. Nan, thanks so much for being with us this morning, in-house especially. And you were part of that most recent massive red wave in 2010.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the truth. No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
for real people.